Cow-calf producers everywhere will be keeping some replacement heifers around to go into their herd for future production. Growing replacement heifers is something that there's some real management decisions involved. Whether we're going to grow these heifers at a pretty rapid rate, say about 2 pounds per head per day between weaning and their first breeding season, so that they're all big enough and in good enough body condition to where we have a high percentage of them cycling at the start of that breeding season, versus a program that may be more low input, lower cost, growing them at a much lower rate of gain. And in that case, we're going to need to keep more heifers around because we'll have a lower percentage of them cycling at the start of the breeding season. And in that situation, we basically let Mother Nature choose our replacement heifers, because then we would keep the ones that become bred and sell the ones that did not achieve a pregnancy in their first breeding season. As we're making that decision as to how we're going to develop replacement heifers, I want you to remember some details about genetics. Through the years, reproduction has always been listed as one of the lower heritability traits. And by that I mean that some estimates as low as 0 to as high as like 0.28 or 28% of the differences in reproductive capabilities being due to genetics. The rest of the differences are due to the environment, the management portion of this that we have some control over. Most recently, Iowa State University did a rather extensive study with 3,144 heifers coming from 5 different states, 6 different herds, and they followed those heifers through to where they could learn more in detail about the heritability of reproductive traits in beef heifers. What they found was that the heritability for what they call pregnancy rate, and they found the heritability was only 0.13 or 13%. That leaves 87% of the differences due to our management decisions. When they looked at what they call the first service conception rate, that proportion of the heifers that got bred at their first attempt, whether it was AI or the first breeding of a bull, the heritability of that was extremely low at 0.03, leaving 97% of the differences in first service conception rate being due to management. So as we're thinking through which strategy we're going to use, and whether we think in the long term we're having a real impact on the reproductive capability of our herd, I think we want to remember the low heritability of these traits that affect reproduction in cattle, and maybe reconsider that the fact that management, or the way we feed the heifers, the kind of weather conditions in which they're bred, the fertility of the bull, the success of the AI technician, all of these have a much bigger impact on the reproductive success of replacement heifers than do genetics. We hope that helps you, and we sure look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow-Calf Corner.